What if your own mother was secretly plotting the destruction of your entire family? What could drive someone to betray their flesh and blood so deeply? Is it greed, malice, or something even darker? This is the chilling story of Judy Buenoano, infamously known as the Black Widow, whose web of deceit and murder spanned decades, leaving a trail of unsuspecting victims, all within her own family. Housevil, true crime involving family. Every family has secrets, any family can cross the line. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Housevil, where we explore the darkest stories of family secrets turned tragic. Today, we delve into the harrowing tale of Judy Buenoano, a woman whose name became synonymous with betrayal and murder. Her calculated actions led to the deaths of her husband, son, and boyfriends, all in pursuit of financial gain. Born as Judy Welty on April 4th, 1943, in the small town of Quanah, Texas, Judy's early years were anything but idyllic. The loss of her mother at just 4 years old marked the beginning of a tumultuous childhood. After her mother's death, Judy and her siblings were sent to live with their grandparents, a situation that, while stable, lacked the nurturing environment they desperately needed. The return to their father's care came with its own set of challenges. Judy's father remarried, bringing a stepmother into the picture who reportedly subjected Judy to abuse and neglect. It was a household devoid of affection and riddled with harsh discipline, a childhood that seemed to set the stage for the manipulative and cold-hearted behaviors she would exhibit later in life. As a teenager, Judy's rebellious streak emerged. Accounts suggest that she began acting out, possibly as a response to the toxic environment she grew up in. By her late teens, Judy was sent to reform school for young women after being caught engaging in theft and other delinquent behaviors. This period of isolation and correctional influence didn't reform her as intended, but instead seemed to reinforce her ability to mask her true intentions behind a facade of compliance and charm. In 1962, at the age of 19, Judy married James Goodyear, a decorated sergeant in the U.S. Air Force. To outsiders, the couple appeared to be living the American dream. They had 2 biological children and later adopted Judy's son, Michael, from a previous relationship. Moving frequently due to James's military postings, the family presented an image of stability and normalcy. Judy embraced her role as a military wife, appearing dedicated and supportive. She was known in her social circles as a charming and capable woman who could manage her household with ease. However, there were subtle cracks in this picture-perfect life. Judy's friends and neighbors noted that she could be controlling and had an air of superiority about her. James, a quiet and disciplined man, was said to defer to Judy in most matters, a dynamic that masked the brewing storm within their marriage. While James was committed to his family and career, Judy had other plans driven by greed and an insatiable desire for financial security. Behind closed doors, Judy's manipulative tendencies began to take shape. She managed to secure multiple life insurance policies on James without his knowledge, a move that would later raise eyebrows. These policies were substantial, amounting to tens of thousands of dollars, a small fortune in the 1970s. It was clear that Judy wasn't just a housewife, she was a calculated planner with a vision of wealth that didn't include her husband. Judy's actions took a dark turn in 1971, when James returned home from a tour in Vietnam. Shortly after his return, he began experiencing mysterious health issues. James complained of nausea, vomiting, and severe abdominal pain. His condition worsened rapidly, and within weeks he was admitted to the U.S. Naval Hospital in Orlando, Florida. Doctors were baffled by his symptoms, unable to pinpoint a cause. On September 16, 1971, James passed away. His death was initially attributed to natural causes and no autopsy was performed. Judy, now a grieving widow, wasted no time in collecting the life insurance payouts. But James's death was only the beginning. Judy had tasted the ease with which she could eliminate obstacles and profit from their demise. Little did anyone know, she had already set her sights on her next victims, using her charm and intelligence to weave a web of lies and manipulation that would take years to unravel. The summer of 1971 marked the beginning of a chilling sequence of events in Judy Buenoano's life. Her husband, James Goodyear, had recently returned home from a grueling tour in Vietnam. While outwardly everything seemed fine, James began experiencing severe and unexplained health problems. Symptoms of nausea, vomiting, and debilitating abdominal pain plagued him, leaving doctors puzzled. Despite medical intervention at the U.S. Naval Hospital in Orlando, Florida, his condition worsened rapidly. On September 16, 1971, James succumbed to what was deemed a natural death. attributed to his exposure to toxic chemicals during his military service. No autopsy was performed, a decision that allowed Judy's sinister actions to remain hidden. Grieving in public but calculating in private, Judy wasted no time in filing claims on multiple life insurance policies she had secretly taken out on James. The payouts totaled a significant amount, providing her with financial security and fueling her taste for wealth through manipulation and deceit. What no one knew at the time was that James had likely been slowly poisoned with arsenic, a method Judy would use repeatedly in the years to come. By 1972, Judy had moved on to a new chapter in her life, entering into a relationship with Bobby Joe Morris. The couple relocated to Trinidad, Colorado, and presented themselves as a happy and loving pair. Bobby Joe, much like James before him, trusted Judy completely. What he didn't know was that he had become her next target. Over the years, Bobby Joe began experiencing unexplained illnesses that mirrored the symptoms James had suffered. Despite his declining health, there were no immediate suspicions of foul play. In January 1978, Bobby Joe's condition took a drastic turn. He was rushed to the hospital after a sudden and severe bout of nausea and vomiting, but it was too late. He passed away within days. His death was initially ruled as resulting from natural causes, much like James before him. Once again, Judy collected on his life insurance policies, solidifying a pattern that would eventually become impossible to ignore. Shortly after Bobby Joe's death, Judy returned to Florida, where she continued her pursuit of financial gain at the expense of those closest to her. The most heartbreaking and unsettling chapter in Judy's story came in 1979 with her own son, Michael Goodyear. Michael, a young man full of promise, had enlisted in the Army and was looking forward to building a life of his own. Shortly after his enlistment, however, he began suffering from mysterious and debilitating symptoms. He experienced severe pain, weakness, and ultimately paralysis in his legs, leaving him unable to walk. Doctors were baffled, unable to identify a clear cause for his condition. Michael was honorably discharged from the Army due to his health, and he returned to his mother's care, completely dependent on her. Judy, far from being the nurturing caregiver she appeared to be, viewed Michael's condition as an opportunity. She had already taken out a life insurance policy on him, and his vulnerability made him an easy target. In 1980, Judy orchestrated a tragic accident during what should have been a peaceful canoeing trip on Florida's East River. The canoe capsized and Michael, paralyzed and unable to save himself, drowned. While authorities initially believed it was a tragic accident, suspicions began to arise when it was revealed that Judy had collected another significant insurance payout after Michael's death. What made these crimes particularly chilling was the calculated nature of Judy's actions. She didn't act out of rage or desperation, but planned each move meticulously, ensuring that she would benefit financially. Her victims, whether they were husbands, lovers, or her own son, were nothing more than pawns in her deadly game. By the time suspicions began to mount, Judy had left a trail of destruction, with several lives lost and countless others forever scarred. Yet, for years, she managed to evade justice, presenting herself as a grieving widow and mother while hiding the true extent of her crimes. The chilling turning point in Judy Buenoano's story came in 1983 with a dramatic and near-fatal incident involving her then-boyfriend, John Gentry. John, a successful businessman from Pensacola, Florida, had been dating Judy for some time and was captivated by her charm and sophistication. What John didn't know was that he had unwittingly become Judy's next target in her web of deceit and murder. In June 1983, Judy persuaded John to take out a hefty life insurance policy under the guise of planning for their future together. Around the same time, she began administering vitamins to him, claiming they would improve his health and energy levels. Trusting her completely, John took the pills without question. What he didn't realize was that the so-called vitamins were laced with arsenic, a deadly poison Judy had used on her previous victims. As weeks passed, John began experiencing unexplained symptoms, fatigue, nausea, and debilitating stomach pain. Unbeknownst to him, the arsenic in his system was slowly taking its toll. However, Judy's plans took a dramatic turn when she orchestrated an even more direct attempt on John's life. On June 25, 1983, Judy suggested that John take her car out for a drive. Moments after starting the vehicle, a powerful explosion ripped through the car, throwing John clear of the wreckage. Miraculously, he survived, though he suffered severe injuries. The car bombing immediately drew the attention of law enforcement, and investigators began piecing together the events leading up to the explosion. During their investigation, they uncovered startling inconsistencies in Judy's accounts of what had happened. She appeared overly calm and detached for someone whose partner had just narrowly escaped death. Suspicious detectives dug deeper into Judy's background, and what they found would unravel her carefully constructed facade. As John recovered in the hospital, he revealed to investigators that Judy had been giving him vitamins before the explosion. A toxicology report confirmed the presence of arsenic in his system, providing the first concrete evidence of Judy's murderous intent. This revelation prompted authorities to re-examine several other deaths linked to Judy, including those of James Goodyear, Bobby Joe Morris, and Michael Goodyear. The subsequent exhumations of James, Bobby Joe, and Michael's remains yielded damning results. Forensic analyses revealed lethal levels of arsenic in all three victims, confirming that their deaths had not been natural as originally believed. Investigators were now able to establish a clear pattern. Judy had systematically poisoned those closest to her over the years, each time benefiting financially through life insurance payouts and other monetary gains. The car explosion and subsequent investigation shattered the image Judy had worked so hard to maintain. Once seen as a grieving widow and devoted mother, she was now unmasked as a cold, calculating killer whose greed knew no bounds. The survival of John Gentry proved to be her undoing, providing authorities with the evidence they needed to bring her to justice and expose the horrifying extent of her crimes. Judy Buenoano's arrest in 1984 marked the end of her reign of terror, but also the beginning of a shocking legal battle that captivated the nation. Facing multiple charges, including the murders of her husband James Goodyear and her son Michael Goodyear, as well as the attempted murder of John Gentry, Judy continued to deny any wrongdoing. However, the evidence against her was overwhelming. The exhumations and forensic analyses revealed her methodical use of arsenic poisoning, while her financial motives were clear from the numerous life insurance policies she had taken out on her victims. In 1985, Judy was convicted of first-degree murder for the death of James Goodyear and sentenced to death. This conviction made her one of the few women on death row in the United States at the time. In a separate trial, she was also convicted of Michael's murder, and her role in the attempted murder of John Gentry sealed her fate as a manipulative and calculated killer. The media dubbed her the Black Widow, a moniker that encapsulated her cunning ability to lure unsuspecting victims into her web of lies and deceit. Judy's case sparked widespread public fascination and debate, with some marveling at the sheer audacity of her crimes and others questioning how she managed to evade suspicion for so long. Her time on death row was marked by defiance. Judy showed little remorse, maintaining her innocence in interviews and court appearances. Despite numerous appeals, her death sentence was upheld. On March 30th, 1998, Judy Buenoano was executed in Florida's electric chair, becoming the first woman executed in the state since 1848. Her execution brought closure to a case that had devastated families and shaken the public's trust in the sanctity of familial bonds. The story of Judy Buenoano is a grim reminder of how greed and malice can erode the very foundation of trust within a family. Her victims, husbands, a partner, and even her own son believed in her love and care, only to be betrayed in the most horrifying ways imaginable. Judy's actions led to the untimely deaths of those closest to her, leaving behind a legacy of pain, loss, and unanswered questions for the surviving family members. This case not only highlights the potential for darkness within family dynamics, but also serves as a cautionary tale about the hidden complexities of human relationships. It reminds us of the importance of vigilance even within the bonds we hold most dear, and the need for justice to uncover the truth and hold the guilty accountable. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to subscribe to Housevil for more deep dives into the chilling truths behind family bonds. What are your thoughts on this case? Were there moments that surprised or disturbed you the most? Share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.